Airplanes are packed with small details that do big jobs, and most of us never notice. Those white streaks in the sky, they're not just contrails. Some swear there's something darker behind them. Let's separate rumor from reality, as I'll be guiding you through misconceptions and hidden features the flight crew would never tell passengers. Here are 15 hidden airplane features you'll wish you knew sooner, plus a quick bonus at the end. Those shark fin antennas bleed off static so radios stay clear. Without them, static electricity from flying through clouds could cripple communication and navigation systems. Lightning can strike, but the charge exits via the wicks, not the fuselage. Planes get zapped more often than you think. You keep sipping Coke because engineers already planned the exit route. Statistics swing by accident type. One crash favors the rear, the next the nose. The truth is, survivability depends more on the circumstances of the incident than on your seat number. The best strategy, listen to the safety demo. Count rows to the exit. Stay alert. See that pinprick at the bottom of the triple pane glass? It balances pressure so the outer pane carries the load. This tiny hole allows air pressure to equalize between the cabin and the air gap in the window assembly. Without it, windows fog and eventually crack. A literal hole keeps you off the internet as the next mid-air viral clip. Cops in the sky carry flexible restraints. Flight crews are trained to use them to subdue unruly passengers who pose a threat to the flight's safety. One snapped buckle and the jet diverts. Nobody wants the paperwork. If rage bubbles up, remember there's prepared hardware waiting, and federal charges land harder than the touchdown. White swirls on the spinner cone aren't art. They tell ground staff the fan is spinning. When the engine is running, the spiral blurs into a solid circle. This is a clear visual warning that the intake is active and dangerous. A hypnotic blur means stand clear. Jet blast can toss a baggage cart like confetti. White trails behind jets spark endless debate. Are they harmless contrails or something more sinister? The chemtrail theory suggests some aircraft are deliberately spraying chemicals. The key difference is altitude. Contrails are simply ice crystals forming from engine exhaust in the frigid air above 26,000 feet. Proponents of the chemtrail theory argue that trails seen at lower altitudes, where contrails can't typically form, must be something else. So if you know the altitude, you know what you're looking at. On almost every flight, there could be someone armed, and you'd never know. Air marshals blend in perfectly with regular passengers. They often sit in aisle seats near the front or just behind the cockpit. Their job is to be close enough to respond instantly to any threat. They board early, rarely drink alcohol, and keep their carry-on small. But here's the key. They'll never reveal themselves unless it's absolutely necessary. If you think you've spotted one, keep it to yourself. Calling them out could put everyone at risk. You might think every passenger jet is brand new and cutting edge, but some planes flying today first took to the skies decades ago. There are Boeing jets from the 1970s still in active service. Want to check yours? Look for the tail number near the back of the plane or on the boarding door. Type it into an aircraft database, and you'll find its exact age, sometimes older than you. Despite the name, airplane black boxes aren't black at all. They're bright orange. That color makes them easier to spot in wreckage. They're built to survive crashes, extreme heat, and deep ocean pressure. Inside is a beacon that sends out a locator signal for up to 30 days. And there are actually 2 recorders, one for flight data and one for cockpit audio. Ever notice those small metal hooks above the airplane's wings? They're not for decoration. They're part of an emergency escape system. In a water landing, ropes attach to those hooks to guide passengers out safely. They stop people from slipping off the wet wing before rescue boats arrive. Most travelers never notice them until they really matter. It sounds strange, but airplanes actually have horns, just not for honking at other pilots. They're used on the ground to alert maintenance crews or signal inside the cockpit. The sound is loud, short, and unmistakable. More like a buzzer than a car horn. You'll never hear it mid-flight, but on the tarmac, it's a vital communication tool. Ever notice those small grooves above the overhead bins? They're actually hidden handrails for flight attendants. During turbulence, they grip these rails to move safely through the cabin. It keeps them steady and prevents them from falling into passengers' laps mid-flight. Some seats have hidden perks most passengers never notice. On certain long-haul planes, the wall curves just enough to give extra shoulder space. Aisle seats often have a hidden button under the armrest to lift it up for more room. And in rare layouts, the middle seat is actually slightly wider than the others. On advanced aircraft like the Airbus A350, cabin lights aren't just for ambiance. They use special LED systems that mimic sunrise and sunset patterns. This, actually tricks your body's internal clock to adjust faster to new time zones. It's a subtle detail that can make long-haul flights feel far less exhausting. Some planes are built to carry cargo so massive it can't fit through regular doors. The Boeing 747 freighter can swing its entire nose open for loading, and the legendary Antonov An-225 once hauled train cars, turbines, even other planes. These giants are the heavy lifters of the skies, and honestly, they rarely carry passengers. Airplane tires hit the runway at speeds over 150 miles per hour. They're inflated to about 6 times the pressure of a car tire, but they still don't burst. That's because they're made from special conductive rubber that prevents static buildup. And instead of one giant tire, planes use multiple smaller ones to spread the force. Imagine if, in an emergency, the entire passenger cabin could separate from the plane. It's a real engineering proposal, complete with parachutes for a safe descent. The idea has been tested in prototypes, but cost, weight, and complexity have kept it grounded. Still, it's a glimpse at how future aircraft might handle the ultimate safety challenge. On ultra-long flights, attic-like compartments above business class hide mattresses and seatbelts. These mandated rest periods are crucial for combating fatigue on flights that can last up to 15 hours. Crew rotate every few hours so the folks up front stay sharp. Next time you hear mysterious thuds overhead, it's probably just someone rolling over above row 30. The captain and first officer order different meals from separate galley batches. It's a simple rule of redundancy. This ensures at least one pilot is always fully capable of flying the aircraft. Shared food poisoning is a Hollywood trope, not an operational risk. If one's eating chicken and the other pasta, thank the protocol that keeps both hands on the yoke. Shades up for takeoff and landing gives rescue crews a clear line of sight. It also gives you a view of the exits. It also helps you stay oriented with your surroundings in case of an unusual event. Fire on the left, you'll choose the right door. Simple habit, massive payoff. Tug the mask and a pencil-sized chemical core ignites. Think of a sparkler inside a can. It turns chlorate into breathable oxygen. There are no bulky tanks. You get just 15 minutes of air while the pilots sprint to thicker atmosphere. That's more than enough time for a controlled emergency descent to an altitude where you can breathe normally. The bag may stay limp. Ignore it and keep breathing. That pancake-thin cushion is a certified float. Yank it straight up. Hug it to your chest. The straps underneath cinch around your arms. It's designed to be more intuitive to grab and hold than fumbling with a life vest in a chaotic cabin. It'll keep a 250-pound adult afloat for hours. Try the motion while the safety demo runs. Muscle memory beats panic every time. Scan the wall just above the seats. Every few rows, you'll spot a matte black triangle no bigger than a postage stamp. That sticker lines up with the wing's root, the clearest view of control surfaces. From that specific vantage point, the slats and flaps are perfectly visible. If the flight deck screens go dark, a crew member crouches there, eyeballing ice or fire. Sit in that row and you're the extra set of eyeballs. Weird shimmer on the wing? Speak up. No one's going to roll their eyes.
Let's start with something chilly. Literally. Window seats are great for the view. But did you know they're also noticeably colder? The air outside the plane can drop to minus 140 degrees Fahrenheit. That external cold transfers through the plane's walls. And the window seats? They get the worst of it. especially during summer when you're dressed light. If you love sitting by the window, layer up. Or just ask the crew for a blanket. Simple fix. Major comfort upgrade. Next, let's talk about what you're drinking. Hot drinks like coffee or tea? You might want to skip them. Here's why. The water used to make them often isn't clean. It comes from tanks that are rarely sanitized properly. Studies found E. coli and staph bacteria in that water. Some flight attendants refuse to drink it themselves, so if they're avoiding it, maybe you should too. Instead, ask for bottled water or juice. Much safer, much smarter. Here's something you probably don't want to hear. The dirtiest spots on the entire plane? They're not the bathrooms, they're the tray tables and seatback pockets. Yeah, those pockets in front of you? They're full of trash from previous passengers, used tissues, food wrappers, random junk, and tray tables. Flight attendants say people actually change diapers on them. Diapers. So do yourself a favor. Bring disinfectant wipes, keep your stuff in your bag, and never, never put food directly on the tray.